Hello,
Yay!
everybody. We are going to be talking about AI stuff today, which is very exciting.
It's all the
That's been like
rage.
all the rage, super popular right now. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT this, ChatGPT that. We're going to talk about that one, but also some other ones that we've been using in our funnels and our memberships. And yeah, it's going to be a fun AI. Here's what we've been doing with it party.
Hey, I have
Um,
a crazy question, Susan. If somebody wanted to join us right now, and they're like, "Send me the link right now," who do how do I do that?
how do you send the link to those things, to
If they're
those
not in our Facebook group
softwares?
and they want to go into our YouTube live.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're saying, so I don't know what you're
I
talking
didn't
about.
understand a word she said, so I
Really?
don't.
Okay, so if somebody
The link
was
to
like,
where?
I literally, so it's so funny, it's so timing. So we are talking about AI today, right? So I have a group of women who are just amazing kick butt women, and they were asking about AI. I was like, hey, funny timing you should have because we're literally going live right now to talk about this. So I was like, if I wanted to actually share this, oh, I think I just found it.
Oh, the YouTube
Um,
stream. Is that what you're
yeah,
looking for?
it was the YouTube
Your
live
guess was
stream,
as good
right?
as mine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sweet.
Sometimes it was hard for me to find the YouTube stream the other day when I needed to edit what the topic was. So
Right?
anyway,
Yes.
okay, let's see who's here. Say hello if you're here. I saw a couple of you say hi, but I don't see your names yet. I gotta get the live up on my other window. But yeah, okay, so you guys maybe missed our little intro there. We're going to talk about AI, how we're using it in our funnels, how we're using it in membership areas, and it's going to be just a fun topic because this is like the buzz right now.
Yeah.
So let's whether I
All
don't
the
know,
rage.
your opinion might be that AI is amazing, it's making life so much easier. Your opinion might be I hate AI. It's taking jobs away. They're taking advantage of artists. Whatever your opinion is,
We have
we're
no
going to show you how we're
political
using it anyway.
statement in anything we're about to say. We just like to geek out on cool technology.
I can share my opinion, and if you agree with
Yeah.
it, great. If not, great. It's fine. We can have different opinions and still be geeks together.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's here. It's not going anywhere. No one
Yep.
can make some magical law or whatever and make it all go away.
Yep.
And so we need to all learn how to use it ethically, use it, to our advantage. And, I was even talking with my husband because I think New York banned it in their schools because they're like, we don't want kids using this for their homework. And I had a discussion. I was like, we're inevitably going to run into this. We have 3 kids that are 10 and younger.
Yeah.
By the time they're middle school and high school age, we're going to need to it's going to be household. Like everyone's going to be using it at that point.
Yeah.
So we need to have a discussion about this. Are we going to allow our kids to use AI to create essays? And we agreed as long as they understand the structure, as long as they understand the frameworks, and if they could go write it on their own, they could. We're going to let them use it because I think our world is based around doing things faster and more efficiently so that we can have more time to actually do things that are important to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but if I was in high school and I had the opportunity to write an essay in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour instead of days, I would have taken it. So that's my opinion.
I love that. I was visiting home over Christmas, right? And my youngest nephew, Landry, he's trying to learn binary. He's kind of an old school. He's like the one that like takes apart electrical systems and like wants to under electrical, right? Like he wants to understand the mechanics of how things work. And so he wanted to understand binary. And so I know binary, but like it's been a hot minute. And I'm like, oh man, Landry, I forget some of the rules. So I just opened up ChatGPT and I sent him a text in binary. And I said, hey, let's start with this. Decode. This is the tool I use to talk in binary. And I put in binary the ChatGPT like the words ChatGPT, but in binary. And so he had to like decipher and like understand, right? And then I don't know, it was a cool bonding and I don't know. So it allowed us this connection. And then now, yes, then it opened up the door to my sister and her husband who are like having that debate right now of like, do we let him use ChatGPT to continue to talk in binary because it opens up the door to all this other stuff? Anyway, so yeah, but anyway, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
love your perspective.
That's just kind of what we were like, why not learn how to use the tools and resources that have been made available to us? It'd be like pre-internet.
Mm-hmm.
And this might have even happened, but it's a little bit before when I was paying attention to it in school, but like pre-internet, and we had to use encyclopedias. We had to go to libraries. We had to use encyclopedias and newspapers to do research. And the internet comes along. It'd be like teachers being like, no, you can't use the internet. It's making it too easy for you. You have to keep going and using these books.
Right.
Like, but why not like use the tool that's making it easier for us? Because we don't all want to sit around doing homework all the time. Let's just like do it. Like I said, as long as we are understanding, even I'd say for the things we're talking about today, writing copy, writing headlines, like I think there's still a certain amount of human knowledge and input that needs to be had to create good outputs.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand what a good sales page looks like, if you don't know what a good essay looks like, if you don't know what a good headline includes, then you're going to have trouble still. Like you still have to have that knowledge. I think as long as you have that knowledge, you can just use the tool to assist you in creating it.
Yep. 100%. Yep. Agreed.
Okay.
Well,
okay. So
just to interject here, because in case you haven't noticed, I have some gray hair.
We're letting the old guy in. All right.
No way.
You said something about pre-interwebs, and being that the internet did not come out until I was in my 40s. I'm not kidding, because when
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing.
I was born in '63. I was born in '63. Internet didn't really come out until 2007. So yeah, I mean, when I grew up, you had a typewriter that you actually put paper into, and you pushed down on the keys, and it like hit it and put stuff onto the paper, and you had to actually go and read the books and write the essay. You couldn't copy and paste. None of that stuff existed until well into way past my youth. I can tell you that. But yeah, so that's it. That's old school. So what the kids have today, I don't even understand.
But you are using AI. It's just funny to see people trying to resist it so hard. So I think we've all three of us here have like, we can see the potential. We see that there's a use for it. And it's going to be interesting because each of us have used it differently. And we're going to share that with you today on how we have each used it. And I think, give you some ideas and just help you to maybe see what is possible. Mm-hmm. And by no means, we are not AI experts. I know there's a lot of people out there selling courses and training, and that is not what we're about to do. We're just sharing what we've been playing with it.
Yes. And we got to do some shout outs. So we have Madison. Madison, so good to have you here. Grace, so good to have you here. I've had some really cool conversations this week with Grace. Webvitia, hopefully I said that right. You're going to have to educate us on the pronunciation, my friend. And Stephen or Stefan, again, help us understand how to pronounce your name correctly. I would love it. And then I also have, so that conversation I was telling you guys about. So a bunch of, fellow amazing group of females. We graduated from the Merchant Marine Academy together. We were talking about AI. I was like, hey guys, I'm doing a show right now. So shout out to Fu and Ann who are watching. So we have a good posse today who all are interested in the AI craze. All right. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start in the funnel world, or do we want to start in the wide world?
I think sorry, I'm laughing at comments. So we've got using it as customer research. We've got using it to write copy. We've got using it to create images. We've got using it to write code. Am I missing anything there?
No, I think those are the big highlights. Yep.
Okay. So I feel like maybe let's go in the order that you would if you were like starting a project, right? So maybe I should go first with customer research type stuff.
Yeah.
And get that out of the way, and then you guys can take over the conversation.
That's great.
Susan, before you go on any further here, I just want to invite people to, in the chat, in the comments, put down how you are using AI at this point as well, because I'd be really curious to see what other people are doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yes. Great call out, Dan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I gotta make sure we're sharing the right screen. Okay. So I've used Jasper. Jasper.ai is one of the copywriting AI tools out there. They've been around for a while. I've been using them off and on for a couple years. It used to be Jarvis before they did a name change.
So sad.
And it is the one that I've used the most. So hold on, I gotta make sure we're there. Okay. Do you guys see my Jasper?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I actually haven't been using it as much lately because I've been using ChatGPT because that's been like all the rage. I'm like, okay, I need to go try it out. I did some comparisons. Jasper did just open up their chat beta in like kind of this like, oh, we got to compete with the ChatGPT because it literally came out after all the buzz started. But I love Jasper because they give you templates and prompts and recipes. They also have an art that was beta. I don't know if it's still beta anymore, but templates. And they also have this document feature where I'm going to open a new one because I don't know what I'm going to open up if I open up one of those other ones. So this is one of the things that I feel like ChatGPT is lacking, in that it's really just a conversation. It's a chat. You have to go and copy and paste your stuff into a Google Doc. I've actually been copying and pasting it into Jasper. But you can type in it like a Google Doc. And let's say, I think we can even use this as a chat feature anyway, but I could say over here, like, write a headline about selling, I don't know, guys, I need ideas. Selling
a low ticket course.
Well, I don't know how well of a headline it's going to create out of that. So write a headline for selling a low ticket course on Facebook ads. And you can do tone of voice. I like to do witty. Sometimes I put Russell Brunson's name in there. But it functions pretty similar. It only did one because I just said write a headline. But most of the outputs I've noticed between Jasper and ChatGPT is that they tend to be pretty generic. But it's going to be better than what you probably, if you're not a copywriter, it's going to be better than what you probably would have come up on your own.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to just cover that. Now let me come over here to ChatGPT, which is where I've been doing a lot of like the customer research type of stuff. Andrea and Dan and I have been like deep in the like, what do we create?
What do you guys want?
Who are our people? Who are we serving? What do they need? What problems are we helping them with? So I've been like just playing around with it. I'm like, okay, maybe this will spark some ideas. I did ask
Susan, can you blow up your screen just a little bit?
I can. I was just making sure this is something I wanted to actually share.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So one of the things is like, I think I saw somebody doing this, but asking it to help you create your avatar. So I asked it, I was like, create a customer avatar of an online course creator that wants to improve customer retention and help their customers get better results.
Good, great question.
So again, like you have to give it good input. You have to you have to know some of the problems that you're trying, like that the avatar is trying to fix, or what they're trying to achieve. You can't just expect the AI to give you all the answers, right? You have to have some knowledge of what you're wanting it. You have to ask it for the output. Otherwise, it's going to be totally generic, and it's not going to be at all what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So I did this a couple of times, and it did pretty good. I don't know if you guys read that at all, but I think it was on the screen long enough. But here's another one. It wasn't quite what I wanted, so I changed it. I said create a new customer avatar, but the output is, like, meet Jack, 28-year-old entrepreneur. Jack is determined to master the software and technology needed to craft an efficient business system that promotes a great customer experience and service. I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of what we're helping you guys to do, like using technology, creating efficient businesses and customer experiences. Like, it was pretty good. And let's see, this one, we have our group description for the CF 2.0 Geek Out group. And so I played with that. I was like, okay, what if I give it a little more information from what Andrea and I came up with? So I asked it to create an avatar based on our group description. And it spit out a different one. It's slightly different. It's a little more specific. It's using some of our keywords.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is really cool. This is awesome. Like, I could have probably given it a little more information and it may have given me a better response, but it got wheels turning. And I may not, like, these may not be our perfect avatars, but we can definitely pull pieces out. Like, oh, I wouldn't have said it that way. I think that that makes total, like, there's some new ideas in there. So that's one way I've been using it.
Wait, before you go anywhere. Before you go anywhere. So I'm just going to add a little bit on here that blew my mind, and I can't claim credit. So I have a very, very, very intelligent client who also specializes actually in helping people pre and post their ayahuasca journey. So he's a consciousness coach, and anyway, super, super smart. And he's using ChatGPT with a lot of his stuff. And he blew my mind in how he was doing it. So he would take exactly what you have here on the screen, Susan, and he would say, I want to sell Emma one of my high ticket coaching programs, and I want to sound witty. So like, if you put that in there right now, it's going to start learning your voice and tone and how we want to speak to Emma. It was awesome. So he just like kept going down and training it. You know what I mean? Like, now I want to sound witty and calm.
Okay, so I said that. It says, I want to sell Emma a subscription membership and I want to sound witty. Here are a few different ways you could pitch a subscription membership to Emma in a witty and engaging way. And it's quotes. Like, this is like script, right? Emma, you're always at the forefront of innovation, always looking for new ways to improve your business. So why not take your expertise to the next level with our subscription membership? It's like a VIP pass to the geekiest, most cutting edge tech and strategies in the industry.
That's what we would say.
And that's just number one. And look, it's giving us like a ton more options. So
before you go forward here, what was the first prompt that you put up on the page?
It was the avatar. All of them were avatars. I'll scroll back. I think I can do that now.
Shout out to you, Ann, too. Thanks for joining us. I mean, you guys are doing some awesome stuff in your group with AI. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Okay, so create a customer avatar for my online course. So then it spits out this avatar. It says meet Samantha. I don't know where we went from Samantha to Emma.
Yeah, so just let's like look at the journey real quick, because I gave it specific information that ended up giving us really good results down here at the end.
Okay.
And
that's
everything
where I was going with this. So as long as you stay in the same chat, it will continue to build upon the information from the last. Okay.
It learns you, and it learns your voice, and it learns what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So keywords were online course creator, improve customer retention, help their customers get better results. Okay. Spit out some stuff. Then I added in sales funnel. Then I added in master the software and tech, efficient business system, great customer experience and service. Then I did the other one where it was our like group description. And that's more of like our language, our words, the leaders, masters, founders, helping entrepreneurs connect to humans. There's probably something in here about, there's our, the geek formula of journey crafting, geek stack, tech, geek mods. So that it pulled out more of that. Like, that's why it's so specific in here.
On that last one you did right there, that was not adding on to the ones above it. This was starting over new again here.
I was asking it to create a new one, but I still think that it's like,
It's
okay,
learning.
now that we got
Mhm.
to this one, I still think that it was still like building
So
on
you
top
think
of
it
the
was
other
still
ones.
pulling from the top?
I
Yeah.
think it was. I mean, we'd have to take a deeper dive into
Right.
everything that we're seeing here, but we're not going to do that right now. But
But
yeah,
part
that's
of it is be
amazing.
careful that you're not crossing the beams, or you're going to get a bunch of the mishmash.
Well, and it,
Yeah,
it can't learn you,
started.
right? Like, I mean, it's like it is a learning algorithm that's operating behind the scenes. It's just a learning algorithm relative to the human language, right? So, like in the body of databases that inform how do we construct, language. So, I think it is a learning engine behind here. So, the more we feed it, the more we tell it, like, I want to sound witty, I want to sound right, which Jasper does just through the UI. So, like Jasper, you can even say, like, I want to sound, calm. I want to sound excited. I want to sound right. And so, yeah. So, like, Jasper just has a UI input that I think it's feeding like a similar technology, right? Yeah.
I was just
Well,
gonna
I like their prompt
for
there.
fun.
One of the tone of voice is Joe Rogan. I mean,
Right.
Yes. He's that popular. He's the household tone now, like a genre of music.
Oh, that didn't work quite the way. So I have been noticing, maybe I need to go over to the chat. I mean, I'm not comparing apples to apples at the moment. It didn't create me an avatar when I gave it the same prompt, but anyway, we're not meant to compare them today. We can do that another
Yeah.
time. I've used both, and they're both good at what they're good at.
Mhm.
But okay, so I'm going to jump over real quick over to the other thing I wanted to show you guys, because that's just like, okay, cool, creating customer avatars, which, I mean, that thing that Andrea had us do at the end is really awesome. I wanted to also point out like this little disclaimer it gives at the bottom. Keep in mind that while being witty and engaging can grab attention, it's also important to be clear about the value and benefits of the subscription membership and how it aligns with Emma's goals and needs as an entrepreneur. So like, obviously it doesn't even know the value and benefits of the subscription membership because I didn't mention it anywhere. There's
Right.
no information here or even in the pitch about like what is the offer
But is
even.
but is
What is
opening
it?
eye trying to parent us right now? Like,
I
is
know.
that what is happening on the screen? Use your powers for good.
Okay. So
While I give
here's
you wit.
another one that I was playing with. This was a deeper like actual researching. Okay, what problems do online business owners have? And this is a new chat, so this is like it's not taking anything that we were doing in the other chat. It isn't taking anything that I've given it before, so it's like fresh. It's got a whole list of things that it gave us of problems that online business owners face. I'm like, awesome, cool. Because like there's at least half of these that we address with like every day in our businesses and in Geek Out. So then I was like, okay, why would an online business owner care about customer experience? Now I'm like training it. Like I want to guide it toward customer experience because that's what we like to focus on. But we know that there's got to be a better way to talk about it that gets people interested. So it was just kind of this back and forth. I'm not going to go through all of it. But in the end, I got some really good information. And one of the things that I haven't pointed out is like you can ask it. I don't know if I did. Okay, let me point these ones out. So I asked it to sum up the reasons. So all of this prior is getting summed up into like these shorter bullet points. And then I was like, okay, if I were to actually go and create a presentation about this, I need a story. So I was like, who has great customer experience, a great customer journey? Chick-fil-A. So I asked it to write about a customer experience of Chick-fil-A because you think Chick-fil-A, you think fast, you got your food, it's good, great. They have great reputation for that. So it wrote me this whole thing about Chick-fil-A and how they provide great customer experience. And then I asked it to rewrite it because it seemed a little dry and stale to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked it to rewrite it with a witty tone of voice. And I'm just going to read the first paragraph of each. Chick-fil-A is a fast food restaurant chain known for its focus on customer service and creating a positive customer experience. The company's mission statement is to be America's best quick service restaurant, and they strive to achieve this by providing a high-quality customer experience. Great. It's kind of boring, though.
Mm-hmm.
So the rewriting it with the witty tone of voice. Chick-fil-A, the fast food joint that's all about putting the service in fast food service. This restaurant chain is famous for their focus on creating a customer experience that's finger licking good. Their mission statement is to be America's best quick service restaurant, and they're not messing around when it comes to making that happen. I thought it was like the best. So like the entire thing is rewritten with that witty tone of voice. And it's just, this goes on and on. I was asking it to do quite a bit. And then I asked it to start writing me some headlines. I didn't love the headlines that it was coming up with, but again, it was getting my wheels turning. It was like, oh, okay, I could probably take that and then go and make it like into a great headline because I know how to make headlines.
Well, and this is where, to your point of like the conversation you're having with your husband and the kids, right? So like finger licking good is actually a term that KFC originated, you know what I mean? And so like it's like critical thinking, right? Of like, yes, to your point, it gets your wheels turning, but it's like all of this critical thinking of like, is this a message on point and hasn't been used elsewhere? And do we have anyway? So it's just interesting.
Exactly. Okay. That's pretty much all you can see. Like, if you guys haven't noticed, I've had it write a thank you email. I tried doing like a whole thank you series, but I realized that's really hard to do because those are really story heavy. Mm-hmm. I'd have to feed it my story and then maybe have it kind of rewrite it in email format. I think you could do that.
Yeah.
And then I've been using it for like non-business stuff, like making fantasy fiction and D&D storylines. My husband and I were playing with that one day, so it's pretty cool. I love that you can ask on both Jasper and ChatGPT. You can ask it to, like, you're basically teaching it. You're training it. You can ask it to rewrite things. Oh, try that in a different way. Rephrase that. And so it's a really powerful thing, a really powerful tool. So I'm just scratching the surface for me on starting to use it in that way. The only time I've used it for actual real life, like, okay, I actually am using this copy in somewhere in a funnel, is with a client, Luis. He's in this group, shout out. We were working in a co-working session one day, and we were like, okay, we need to create a headline and we need some like bullet points just to grab their attention at the top of this page here. And so we went into I don't remember which one it was. I think it was ChatGPT. Had it create us the headline. It was pretty good right off the bat. I was like, okay, let's just use that one, and then created some bullet points, rephrased them a little bit, and put them on there. And it was what it needed to be. So
awesome. That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Very cool.
So that's customer research type stuff. Should we move over to how you're using it in funnels?
Sure. Because it still is a little bit of an extension of customer research. So let me share my screen. So first and foremost, so we, help people with Facebook groups and YouTube channels, as their primary, and we, are always nerding out about customer journeys and how do we make them better. So like I was doing a little bit of research just on the science of transformation and deconstruction of knowledge. And again, like the thing I love about that is I could put in my like super geeky academic words, and then it helped me find words that were more accessible, right? And it wasn't all nerdy and like wah 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 wah, right? And so anyway, I'm loving that part of it. I will say though, just from a tool perspective, so there's ChatGPT, and then it's like big brother, if you really want to go hardcore, is the Playground. So if you actually create an account in ChatGPT, there's a thing called Playground. And so this is where you can really start to like it learn you and you go even deeper. So I would play with both for sure. But okay, let's go to funnel world. So all of us are familiar with funnel scripts, and we know and love our funnel scripts. So what I do now with clients is who are not at a point yet where they want to invest a lot in copy, and they're still kind of learning their messaging and how do I do that? So, or how they do that. So what they do is we use either my agency funnel scripts or they have funnel scripts, and we will start to write it. So we go down to, for instance, a sales letter. We're going to go to just a VSL sales letter. And I'm going to go ahead and load in. I'm just going to do Jim's famous unicorn guru. And then we'll go ahead and load
Do
the
you want to be
avatar.
sharing your screen right now, Andrea?
Well, that would be really helpful. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm in Funnel Scripts. I loaded his unicorn. I'm going to go ahead and actually not load one of these. I'm going to just use the middle-aged unicorns. And then I'm going to go ahead and build. And this is for a VSL, right? So this is where, so we get from Funnel Scripts, which is like your really classic, good, but bro markety, right? And a lot of my clients are not bro markety voice and tone, but we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And we want to be able to leverage the power of Funnel Scripts. So I just simply copy that. And that copies the before and after bridge, right? Then I would come over to my ChatGPT or into my Open Playground. I'll use Open Playground just to give you an idea. And then I'll put that in. And now I submit it. And it basically will rewrite it here in just a second. Hopefully, if it works. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So then it's like, it's like, trust me, the princess will never forget the day. I don't know if it's still rendering. Normally it would re-render this entire thing, which basically, and put it more in human language. I don't know if it just got stuck because it's too much to process, but let me try it over here. I'm going to do a new chat and I'm going to just put that whole thing in. And then it's going to do probably a summary, but this is where now I can start to like, if I want to tweak particular words or make them more human or say, hey, I want to rewrite this, it'll start rewriting the whole thing, which is awesome. And again, I can train it to be like, hey, my voice is more, curious professor. Can you do that? Or add more wit? Or, hey, can we be funny here? And so it basically allows me now, instead of, the typical bro marketing, like this unicorn guru helps you quickly and easily unlock your inner magic beast through the power of unicorn horn, which is not horrible, right? But it's like cheesy, and my voice and tone is not cheesy, right? So I might take that exact line and say, hey, can you rewrite this, but do it in a clever way, or do it in a witty way, or do it in like a humorous way, or right? And so it just basically allows us to take the goodness of the marketing copy and the main pieces and then put it into more humanized and my voice and tone. Super powerful.
Andrea, two things.
Yeah.
One, blow up your screen so people can see the text.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing is what it spit out there is actually an explanation of what was the above.
Right.
It did not rewrite it.
Right. That's what I was just saying, Dan. So in that case, if it does that, you have to kind of go line by line and say, hey, if I want to rewrite this, right? So I could say,
well, how about try copy the whole thing and then just say rewrite the following story, put quotes around it, and see what it does.
We can try that.
Because you didn't really give it any direction. You just copied and pasted stuff at it.
Right.
So it'd be great if that works well, because then you don't have to do it line by line.
This is I wonder if I do quotes around it. We'll just see if that works. Yeah, there we go.
Look at the big brain on Dan here. I'm telling you.
Dan, you're just so incredible.
I know how this works. I don't know.
The only thing though that doing it this way is, so in Funnel Scripts, right? The way that Jim lays this out is almost a little bit how the page should lay. You know what I mean? Like in terms of headlines and subheadlines. So that would be the only thing then we would have to go back and kind of do the breaks for, if I was going to hand this over to a funnel, one of my designers or my copy person, right? Is like trying to figure out, okay, what is the breaks then in order to.
Yeah. So then you might want to do chunks if you're like, okay, I know this chunk is like the headline, this chunk's the subheadline, this chunk's about the problem. Yeah. So you might want to.
And okay, this is what I love too. You know how all of us always kind of complain about like, do long form sales pages actually work? They're so long. They pretty much just summarize this in one paragraph instead of a long form sales page, which is funny.
Well, and also like it's formatted differently. Like the one that you copied in there, it's like double line spaces and like a lot of line breaks in between all of the copy. And this is like, it's all scrunched together. So I bet if you hit enter return between all of those sentences, it ended up being the same length.
Yes, true. Okay, the other one that I use for funnels is imagery. So there is there's a lot of people now who are posting their Lensa, or there's a couple other tools that people are using. They're all the same engine though, and the engine that they're using is called Midjourney. Midjourney takes the images and then renders the AI output of those images. So if you're not familiar with Midjourney, the way to interact with Midjourney directly is through Discord. So you would go to midjourney.com, and then it's going to have you log in, and the interface to Midjourney is actually through a Discord community. So you would come in here, and I will say that the user experience with Midjourney is not so good. Like it's hard to use. And all of a sudden now it's like asking me for plans, which it didn't before. So I might have to go in and figure out why it's doing that. But basically I'll open up my Discord and show you guys.
Yeah, I was in Discord on one of those image things one day, and I had no idea.
It's pretty confusing. Yeah, no, you're not alone, Dan. The user experience of it is not so good. So basically what it is they just have all these threads, and people are just like adding what they want to see. So in like various threads. And so I might do here, right, where I'm going to do newbies 28, I think is where I got mine. So if I wanted to say, I want to do like an old man on a rock, right? So now I just have to wait for a little bit, and there could be other threads that come in, and that what feels really chaotic whenever I'm using it.
You need the code thing in front of it, or it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, thank you. Which is, I forget what the code is. Let me see. It's like
put a code in front of it.
Yeah, I can maybe pull it up on my phone and tell you what it is.
I think it's hashtag.
Oh, there you go.
Is it newbies 28?
No, it's like, if anyone in the comments knows exactly what that is, can let us know.
I think it says it right here.
It really tells you. Imagine. It's forward slash or backslash. Imagine.
Old man on a rock. Thank you. Forgot about that stuff. So then again, like I put that there, but this is responding to somebody else up above. So it'll respond to me in a second, but it like all these other ones come in. So this is like St. Patrick's Day, Strictly Green, Creepy Clown. I don't know.
So you get to see what other people are asking it to do, and they get to see what you're asking it to do. But then what ends up happening is you have like your account, and everything that you're asking it to render gets put into your account. So like you can go back and access it later.
Yeah. So there's my old, oh man, creepy clown. Sorry. So crazy. So my old man on a rock, which again, I find like you kind of lose it in the thread sometimes. But it is somewhere in here.
There it is. Right. Is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. So then and this is who contributed, I think, or where it contributed from. So anyway, and then I can like re-render it into a new one. And it's just, it was an interesting experience. But I had a client who was, he provides these services, and the space that he creates, the most equivalent metaphor is a dojo. One of, a master coming in and helping in a dojo space. So we took his Lensa and we took his dojo, and we created him a membership site using Midjourney AI and graphics. So this is the entrance into his membership site. And then you would come in, and when you're in the dojo, so this is the entrance into the dojo, and then you would come in, that's all AI. And then each one of these is an AI for the journey. So they get to come in and they get to experience the dojo. And again, all of these are Midjourney images. So super cool, super interesting. And we, had him go through our typical like brand guide, and we plugged and played all the like colors. And so we played the hex values so that it all matched with the brand, and it all just kind of spit out through Midjourney. So it was awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not the only one here who I'm sure missed absolutely everything of how you actually generated this, because you went into the other thing. You said, give me a picture of some old man on a rock. And okay, but where along the way did you put in a color palette and everything else that you just rattled off? How is that put in there? Is that done in this tool, or do you
Yeah,
do it
it's
somewhere
the only way to interact directly with Midjourney is through Discord.
So rather than her saying old man on a rock, she'd put a more descriptive thing there, include her color palette in that description.
Yeah, so
And there's all kinds of things you can stick into that. Like probably we aren't experts, but we probably could create a little masterclass on how to use this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It took us, just to be really clear, it took us hours. This wasn't a fast thing to get exactly what we want because we needed it on brand, right? So it was like old dojo with hex value.
So it doesn't save what you put in there. You don't really have your own account that you can go back in and pull up the stuff you've done in the past.
No, you do.
But it wasn't just me, it was my designer and I going back and forth. And so we were building off of each other's threads. So she has half the thread and I have half the thread. So, but I'm sure we could probably pull it together and share it. So
just to be more clear about how that works. So you're in Discord generating it there. That's where you're giving your prompts and where it's giving you the feedback of the images. But then you have an account with Midjourney and you go log into your Midjourney account and all of your images are being saved over in your account there. The other thing I was going to point out real quick is that those buttons that are under the images that are getting produced over there in Discord, where it has like U1, U2, U3, U4, and then the V1 through 4, the U's are for upscale, and each number is associated with that grid of 4 images. And then the V's are for versions. So if you're like, it's moving too quickly, but on that one with the girls there, if you can scroll up a little bit to make it stop scrolling. Yeah. Let's say like, okay, 3 of those pictures have 2 girls in it. And like the one on the top right has like 1 girl, but she's like split in half, right? Which is really, really weird looking. But let's say like that's our favorite. Then you can click on V2 because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like the grid. You click on V2 to get it to make another version of that specific image, or you can click upscale to give you like a higher quality version of that. Because right now it's just giving you like drafts. And if you click upscale, then it's going to give you like this high quality version of it in your account.
Which basically is like a re-rendering at a higher constitution. Yeah. It's still loading. So you can see here, I just put, wait.
Now the question becomes is what is generating these images?
It's AI. It's pre-programmed language that has learning algorithms behind it. That's basically scanning our wide world of images and then adding its own learning algorithms to it, is my gross understanding.
Okay, so lately I've been seeing a lot of people have selfies, and on Facebook they're putting up all these cartoonized version of it, but very elaborate cartoonized. That's a word, version of it, like by the dozens. I saw one gal the other day. She must have had 20 or 30 of them, all of herself, all different colors and everything else. And so that's something that's probably being generated by a tool like this.
Yes. They're using a tool called Lensa, but it's the same backend engine. So Midjourney is the engine, and then they are doing Lensa.
So is Lensa easier to use than this Discord thing here?
But it only does, you have to give it a picture and then it renders something back. Okay. What Midjourney does is I can give it just text and it renders something.
Okay. So I got a picture from Japan of an actual for real dojo. I can give it to it. It will render it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And Anne said having your brand journey work done ahead of time is really important. Yes. Very. If you want it to not be crazy.
Yeah. I have pulled up one of the things that Dan's talking about. I can show it real fast.
Yeah.
This is not Lensa. This is another one called Beb.ai.
Look at how much of a BA you look like, Susan.
Well, I was going to say that's evil.
Okay.
That's evil Susan right there.
The way this one works is you have to upload like 30 pictures of yourself. And you have to be like different lighting, different angles, headshots, full body shots, like the whole gamut. And then you can pretty much put in, like, you can give it prompts. So like I was playing with this for a while. I was playing with it before Christmas. So I have like Mrs. Claus ones. You can see like these don't look anything like me. That's okay. They don't always work, but like most of these look
I like that top left one because it looks like you probably have an axe in your hand.
This one. Well, you can only see the head, so you're not going to be able to tell. But like here's Superwoman one. So this is, and then you can also have it do like, some of them are a little more like photograph. It's still not totally realistic, but it's more photographic, whereas there's other ones that are clearly like artistic style.
Yeah.
So there's,
I love the Captain America. That is so cool. You look so okay. So don't get on Susan's AI side.
Isn't that funny? I have to point out real quick, the Santa one never really worked out because it likes to put the pom-poms. Like this one wasn't too bad. Actually, it's better now. There was like 2 or 3 pom-poms just randomly, like the beard one. The Santa thing with the pom-pom on the bottom.
That's
like
funny.
This isn't working very well.
That's really funny.
So that was fun. My kids and I had fun with that one. But one of the reasons why you may want to have something like that is data is showing that right now, like for YouTube thumbnails, having an AI version of yourself or an AI graphic of some sort on your thumbnail is actually getting more attention. It gets more people to stop and view it than like an actual photo of yourself, because it's a pattern interrupt. It's like, oh, there's something a little bit off of about that picture. So it's grabbing their attention long enough to then read what that video is about. And if it's something they're actually interested in, they're going to go watch it. But
I just have to point this out because it just came into my feed. He said, designing a user interface for a website that represents a university called Motowera. The nav bar consists of about, specialization, that's crazy. So, but it actually rendered it. Look at that with a color palette. So that got me thinking to be like, I wonder if we could render a funnel.
what it can't do is words. So just be aware of that.
Right.
Like you can see on that graphic that Andrew was just reading about, there's like word looking shapes on it, but it's like nonsense. It's not actual words.
Right. Yeah. So I said, I need a funnel design for a book funnel. Let's see what it says. This could get really fun. All right. Okay. The last thing that I wanted to share too, that I use it for, in terms of building copy for funnels and for social. So Answer the Public, if you don't know about it, it's amazing. So we like right now, I'm helping an Airbnb or a short-term rental client, right? So he specializes in teaching people how to do short-term rentals, specifically through rental arbitrage. Super amazing guy. Love it. So I wanted to know, hey, I want to know what out there is rental arbitrage, and what are all, and I always spell it wrong. Arbitrage, maybe, I don't know. And so then Answer the Public will give you amazing results. It scrapes the Google searches and it basically renders what are the most consistent things that people are asking. What are some prepositional? So you can see my highly scored ones, right, are the dark pink. So what is rental arbitrage? Oops, sorry, didn't mean to click on that. Another one is, let's see, where is rental arbitrage legal? Can you do rental arbitrage in the UK? Is rental arbitrage legal? Okay, so it looks like we're asking a lot of questions around like the legality of rental arbitrage. So I can imagine.
That reminds me of the old Google's Wonder Wheel.
Yes, yeah. Yes, man, you are dating yourself, Dan. And then like, or rental arbitrage versus buying, or let's see, another really highly rated one was rental arbitrage lease. Okay, which my guy, he like specializes in how to set up these leases with your business and all this good stuff, right? So what we could do is basically, I could say, okay, rental arbitrage lease. And now I can go into something like, again, the ChatGPT, and I'd start a new chat, right? And I could say, hey, what are, some of the top 3 things or top 3 misconceptions about a rental arbitrage lease? And so now it starts to give me even more ideas, because Answer the Public, I only have 3 queries per day, but now I can leverage what I can find in my best 3 queries and then now have every day a list of topics and videos that I can send to him to say, hey, shoot a video about this. Hey, shoot a video about this. Right. And then feed that into YouTube, which is amazing. All right, let's go back to our Discord and let's see if we got a result on our funnel build. And then I know we're like way over. Hey, we talked about this for a long time, which is amazing. All right.
Well, and we haven't scratched the surface.
I know. It's true. Are you guys seeing?
I'd scroll up. I think that person is just getting more images that look the same.
Oh, so it obviously doesn't know what a funnel is yet. So here's our book funnel.
That's
Hey, you could totally use this on a funnel image, right? Like, meet my book funnel.
Attention grabber. Look at it's got funnel with a book in it. That's hilarious.
You could do this as an ad. Like, check out my book funnel. That is awesome.
Wow. Huh.
Isn't that fun? The thing I love about it is, this is another one of like, how do we get these images? Is how do we actually, it like I just said, it just opens up so many ideas for what's possible. It's exciting, but yeah. So that is Midjourney. I think that those were all of the big that I had started playing with so far for GPT and artificial intelligence. I know that there's a lot of more applications. Like I just had a friend, she showed me a picture of her son singing a song that was written by ChatGPT through this interactive game, I guess. So anyway, yeah, super powerful. It's like an iris. Okay, Anne, you are going to have to tell us more.
The funnel, the book funnel.
Oh, it is
like an iris.
Yes, it's true. Yes, so true.
Okay.
So, yes.
All right. So Dan has some stuff to share that he's been working on with AI.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as saying I was working on anything, but
I
tried. My entire experience of any of this AI stuff only started a couple of weeks ago. The browser can't access your screen. Try capturing a different screen. Oh, let me try this again. Share the screen. Well,
the anticipation.
Oh,
what does it not want to show us?
Let's try just a window. Now
okay.
Is it working now? Probably is.
Yeah, I'm going to add it to our stream. Are you ready?
Yeah. All I'm going to show is ChatGPT.
Yep.
Well, first off, so what I started to say is my entire experience of this started like 2 weeks ago when I saw a TikTok video, which I'm never on TikTok. I'm not sure how I managed to see this, but it was of Russell Brunson putting in specifically this question right here, which was he typed in, write 10 sales hooks for my new green drink company. Now, before we do that, let me look down here because earlier Andrea was talking about the term ChatGPT in binary code. So just in case somebody wanted to know, that is the answer to ChatGPT in binary code.
Like what is binary code? Is that the
right. It's
machines.
It's ChatGPT in binary.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah. What it looks like. Yes.
Isn't that what you were saying you were doing with your nephew? Was,
yeah. I sent him
in the term ChatGPT.
GPT in binary. Yeah, exactly.
The only thing I don't know is how does it represent the letter C? Does it represent that as 3? Because it is still a number. So I'm not sure how.
No, it's a collection of numbers. So every every letter has a combination of letters, and so like a capitalized, and they're different between lowercase and uppercase. So lowercase I think is like 001, and uppercase is like 011, and then the A is another series.
Basically, it's spitting out the ASCII code for it. Then.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
I was just wondering there. So either way, so here's the thing. Here was the first one I saw of Russell. So write 10 sales hooks for his new green energy drink. And what I found interesting about the whole thing is as you go through here, you go, these are things I may not have thought of in regards to a green energy drink. So I think one of the things it does is gives you a lot of good ideas. I mean, because here it's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's non-GMO, 100% natural ingredients. So it gives you a whole bunch of different key terms, I thought, in there that were really good. And then the other thing is this not going to do it? The other day when I was in here, it had a button where you could just regenerate this whole thing. And now I'm not seeing it. Maybe I have to do this again to regenerate it because this was an old one. But every time you regenerate it, it spits out 10 new hooks that all have all kinds of great keywords in it. Now, I was on a call the other day with Jim Edwards, and somebody asked him, it's not working. Let me try reloading the page.
Oh, I think it just started. Maybe not. Oh, there you go. Now your button was back.
So yeah, I just hit on regenerate. But yeah, somebody asked Jim what he thought of all this AI stuff, and he said obviously he doesn't like it, and the main reason he said he didn't like it was because the stuff that he teaches is proven copywriting principles that have been used for the last 100 or so years. And if you ever go into funnel scripts, you'll see that a lot of the stuff, he's even got one in there that has basically took like the top 100 headlines ever written and put it into his tool. So I agree with both. I mean, here I think you can get a lot of really great ideas, and then you can take those great ideas and put it over into funnel scripts. And then of course we saw what Andrea did, which was to take what's spit out of funnel scripts. If you want a different version of it, put it into here and see what it comes up with. And so going back and forth, I don't see any reason why you can't do both and go back and forth. And so just real quick here, a couple other ones. He did one here for a promotional video for .com secret book, but he did this one here, and I have not run this one in here yet. He actually asked it to write a love letter to his wife.
Oh, no.
Do I do this as a new? Maybe I have to do this as a new. See, I'm not much of an expert on this. And Eric recurred. This issue persists. Let me try reloading the page. I may have crashed. Who knows? Let's try. Do I just click over here, or do I got to click up here, the plus sign? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Write a love letter to my wife Colette, and I don't know what the sheism means there at all. That was part of it. It's supposed to be, I think it's kind of like a haiku kind of a format or something. But yeah, so here it is. It's spitting out a love letter to
my dear Colette.
And then he had one here. So he had first here, he had write a promotional email for .com secrets. Then he did the same thing, but with humor targeting Gen Z, which I think might have been in here. So here it is with humor targeting Gen Z. So if you want to, as you guys were doing before, changing it to witty and whatnot, here you just type that in apparently. But a couple other real quick things I will show you, because like I said, I have not been using it this much, except for I see this and I definitely see the possibilities. But one day when I first started playing with this, I pasted something into the search engine here, and I thought it was pasting in something else, and it was some script that I had still in my clipboard, and I pasted it in, and then it went through here and it told me exactly what this script does. And it was actually right.
So, yay! So I know how to translate Dan amazingness now.
I've heard people say that they're using it to write all kinds of different code in different languages. Yeah. Now the thing is, two things really there is you have to know how to ask the question.
Yes.
And then and you have to know the vocabulary in order to be able to ask the question properly. And then you have to be able to look at it and know whether it's right or not.
Yeah. And you have to be able to troubleshoot. So I'm sorry, finish your thought, Dan, and then I'll jump in on that.
Yeah, let me see here. What did I all have in here? But I had one here, if I can get it to come up. Okay, come on. Well, this program is about as buggy as some other programs that we use.
I haven't had that many bugs with mine, but you are struggling, yeah.
Yeah. So they're supposed to say write me, but it says write jQuery code that hides button 1, and when button 2 is clicked, also click button 1. And so I was just working on something one day, and I said, "Oh, I mean, this is pretty simple one," and it did it, and it wrote the code properly, and it wrote it in the jQuery language. And then I made another one here, wrap a tag around. Let me see, write a jQuery code that takes a tag. Oh man, I wrote this bad. It takes a tag in a column and wraps that around the entire column, and it generates the code and explains what the code is. And then if you regenerate this, it will regenerate the code all over again for a different scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. You can use jQuery wrap. Okay, now, well, let me see if it's going to spit out some code or not. Come on, spit out the code. Let's go. But now the biggest problem here is knowing what the selectors are in order to be able to then put this into your code.
Right.
Because if you're not targeting the exact elements that you want, in this case here, the tag wrapped around, you're not going to be able to still do it.
Well, and I think that, I mean, to your point, Dan, right? And again, I want to go back, Susan, to the conversation you were having with your husband. So I think there are fundamental rules of language. There are fundamental rules of coding language. There are fundamental rules of good visual design, right? And it's like we all were able to use our discretion on what the AI spit out because we're well versed in those fundamental rules, right? If somebody like myself, right, I've been trying because for those of you who haven't found this, it's amazing. So Stripe now has a new product. It's like $10 a month that it's called Sigma. And it allows you to query your Stripe data in order to get any kind of report that you want. But the interface to do it is through SQL queries. Now they have some pre-generated queries that you can use, but I'm trying to do a little bit more sophisticated because I know the measures I want to calculate, and I know the algorithm I want to use to calculate it, right? So I've been trying to figure out, how do I input a SQL query in order to get the export of the data file with all the right data variables from my Stripe database, right? I don't know SQL. I know enough to know that it's how I query databases. And I know a little bit of like, okay, this thing kind of means this, I think. But I don't know the rules. I don't know the structure. I don't know the rights and wrongs, right? So I'm in ChatGPT and I'm saying, and this is Dan, I know where you will probably just laugh at me. So I am in ChatGPT and let me just show you. Come on, present.
I was going to say, I'm not going to laugh at you because I haven't written a SQL query in years.
But you still know, like, the fundamental architecture of coding languages, right? And so where I know enough to be dangerous, but so here's me trying to figure out like how I write a Stripe Sigma query that returns product purchases by a specific customer, So like it spits me out this. So I copy this code and I put it into the SQL interface in my Stripe, and I get an error message and I'm like, crap, how do I troubleshoot it? You know what I mean? I don't even know how to begin to troubleshoot it because I know that the structure of the code is probably wrong. And so it's like, but it is interesting. Some of them, like this one, worked great and I got exactly what I needed and I could export the data. So it's like a hit or a miss, you know what I mean? In terms of what works, what doesn't. But I am shooting in the dark, right? In terms of like, it gets me further than I ever could have got by myself without hiring someone. But it also allows me to, you know what I mean? Be like, ooh, am I getting all the data set or am I, anyway. So it's just it's an interesting what it opens up and also maybe some potential pitfalls of what it opens up. If anything, after playing with it for at least a couple hours, I know now, like, okay, if I want to do like a 3-string query, I'm going to need to hire someone to help. But if it's just a simple, show me this type of data, I'm good to go. So anyway, yes.
Well, you said you got the one to work. So what I would do is create so you got the one query to work and it actually returned some data for you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Then if you have another query you want to run that one as well, and then figure out okay, so here's the basic code structure. All I need to do is take this one line out of here and put it into the other one. and let's see now if it then spits out
I
both.
tried that. I tried to like reconstruct like which line is missing, because I know enough from your classes to know like, okay, I know there needs to be, like something sandwiched, and this probably needs, it's missing like a casing, and like I tried a couple different variations. It was a fail. It was a total fail. So it was, but again, it's like I'm not going to give up because I'm super interested in getting this data. But it's an interesting dilemma, just in terms of, it makes me think I'm smarter than I actually am in terms of SQL, and I don't know how to troubleshoot it because I don't know the fundamentals of SQL query, Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I have not played with it for code yet. My husband has used it to try to write macros, though, so that's the extent of what we've done on this side.
That's fun.
Okay. All right, we're gonna wrap up. We've been on here for an hour with you guys, which has been fun. It's really been like Dan, Andrea, Susan, all just sharing like, okay, what have we been doing? This is the first we've all seen each other's projects that we've been using with AI, so it's fun for us.
And again, if people are using it, put down below comments how you're using it, because I mean, like Andrea said, apparently there's people teaching classes on it already.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
There
being published already with it.
Everything. Still people teaching classes on how to make money with FTX. I don't know. Maybe. I hope not.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. That's so bad.
How to end up in prison. Yeah.
And if you're asking, hey, I'm a part of CF 2.0 Geek Out, why the heck are they talking about AI? I just want to reemphasize that CF Geek Out is expanding to not just 2.0, not just 1.0, but our whole geek tech stack. So you can expect more of this type of material from us that expands beyond just the ClickFunnels domain. We'll always bring it back to ClickFunnels because that's the lifeblood. But we are looking at that whole stack now and trying to help with whatever we can there. So that is, that's why we brought in AI today.
Awesome. And if you're watching on YouTube and you want to come join us in the CF 2.0 Geek Out community, I'm like, is that what we call it?
Yes.
My brain just like shut down for a second.
Yes.
I did put the link into the comments under this video on YouTube, so you can come join us in the group. And then from wherever you're watching, if you want to come join Geek Out Academy, we are renovating what Geek Out Academy looks like, but you can definitely come and join us and take advantage of what we have so far. We've done a lot of Geek Camp trainings on a lot of different 2.0 stuff, but also we've done like Active Campaign and something else that I can't think of. And then we are going to be, I think we're trying by February to make the announcement of the changes coming to Geek Out Academy that we're so excited about. It's gonna be really fun, so you can come and join us there as well. The link to that is in the.
I'll just say my minor modifications, or whatever Susan said. I mean, she's talking about we threw a grenade into the bunker and it's gone, and we're
Sometimes you gotta burn what you have to make it better.
Yes.
Burn it to the ground.
It's filled with customer feedback, so it blew up in the most beautiful way.
Make us an AI picture of the Geek Camp burning to the ground.
No. Yeah. Okay. Hey, and I just saw Anne's post for you guys who do want to share what you're doing with AI. Drop the link too. We'd love to see it. Being visual folks that we are. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, keep the comments coming in. A couple of them just came right in at the end there. We'd love to see it. So, okay. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We will be back next week with all the things that we normally do, and we will see you then.
Yay. Have a good one.